We are brought to you today by Showcase Cinemas Deluxe. Right now, Mortal Kombat is in theaters, and we were live from inside the theater for all-day coverage of the film on April 23rd. Make sure to get out and support your local theaters now. See these larger-than-life movies the way they were intended, on the largest screen possible. Showcase offers X+, which is their large premium format theater. Not only do you see and hear the film, but you become a part of it as well. Find out where your local Showcase Cinemas is by heading to their website, www.showcasecinemas.com. Again, that's www.showcasecinemas.com, or by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, be Showcase safe. Showcase has implemented several protocols to ensure that your focus remains on the film, not on the pandemic, including new ventilation systems in each theater to ensure proper airflow, sanitizer on every wall, and so much more. Enjoy the movie the way it was meant to be, with a night out to the theater. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, afternoon. After morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's afternoon for you today. Yeah. But yeah, so welcome to the morning show, guys. Today's special show. As always, something seems to happen right before we go on Mondays. Today, the Eternals trailer has dropped, the highly long-awaited film that was going to be put up against New Gods, but we know how that went for DC.
Yeah.
Scrap it. But yeah, so before we get into that, guys, make sure that you are smashing the like button. Share this with your friends, family, and enemies on social media so they can watch along with you and you can argue and be toxic and, you know, just naturally at each other's throats. It's a good time. Smash the subscribe button. Consider becoming a patron. For only $5 a month, you get access to the things that everyone else doesn't. And I love you extra. These are our beautiful patrons already. CAIDEN, Odd, Nick DePalma, that one, Carlos. By the way, I saw that one. Carlos is here. What is up, brother? Josh Robertson, Joey B, Billy Robert, Adam Silvestri, Sean Adam, Susan Sideri, Ruben KS Rivera. You guys are the lifeblood of the show. Check out some merch. Got the Jiving with Jack shirts up, which the first episode is debuting tomorrow. Got some fun stuff for you. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you're there at 4:30.
4:30. Yep.
4:30
Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We've been working on it for a while now. So you know, definitely get in there. Let's say hello to everybody, Jack.
Hey, everyone.
I see Carlos. I see Adam. Hey. I see Billy. Nick Carr. Nick, you know, me and Madeline were watching a trailer last night. No, a show last night about the Son of Sam. Nick, where are you from, man? I would like to know that. Because, the bad guys had the last name Carr.
Yeah.
And I want to know if you're related at all. So if you're from New York, man, I don't know. Adam Silvestri, I think I already said that. CAIDEN, then there's Madeline, of course. And then me and Jack. So what's going on, guys? Listen, Prakash, what's up? Listen. So before we get into the Eternal stuff, I made a little video the other day about aliens.
Oh,
yeah, I made a little video where I got a little bit upset with everybody because it seems like everyone in the news is talking about the Kardashians or Caitlyn Jenner or the Friends reunion, but no one's talking about the fact that the government is coming out and saying, "Hey, UFOs or UIPs or whatever you want to call them, like, listen, they're there. They're flying in the skies right above our head. The same air that we breathe, aliens are in. But no one wants to pay a double look."
Yeah.
What is wrong with people?
I think part of it's denial. I think part of it is like, no, it can't be real. It can't be real, you know. Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's like there are people who believe the earth is flat. They're like, no, it's not round.
Well, you can listen, you can believe whatever you want. I have no problem with that. But the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
It's there. It is 100% there. The government, if this was any other period in human history with like the news and whatnot.
Yeah, thank you.
There would be literal breaks broken off people's doors and heads and minds. The fact that aliens are legitimate and the government is no longer denying it.
Yeah. Which, you know what it is? I kind of blame these sort of like celebrity smart people like Machika Kaku or like Bill Nye the Science Guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who will still say, well, you know, it could be the Russians. I'm like, if the Russians have stuff that could defy physics, we would not be the most powerful country in the world. Like, unless the Chinese have figured out how to break the laws of physics and do stuff like that, we're screwed. In fact, I think it's scarier if the Chinese or the Russians have stuff that can do this and we don't. I think it'd be cooler if it was aliens. Yeah, I know. It blows my mind. Even when I tell people, they're like,
with Nick, by the way.
They're like, whatever. It's probably a balloon.
It absolutely blows my mind. But we will get back into this a little bit later. But has anyone watched the Eternals trailer besides Carlos? Because I have not. Jack just told me about it like 10 minutes before the show went on, and I haven't watched it. So I'm about to watch it for the first time with you guys. I think I saw a bunch of people that said they didn't watch it. CAIDEN was here for 35 seconds per usual. CAIDEN made his drop through. But yeah, so I mean,
hey, at least he comes to your show. He doesn't come to. He comes to mine. He sees me. He's like, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah, he's like,
boy.
I want the Alan the alien to come. Who's Alan the alien?
This name we're gonna give him. Just like Gary the Parademon.
Yep.
the one who shot the Flash. Everyone calls him Gary.
Yeah. All right. Let's watch that Eternals trailer. Man.
All right, let's take a look at this.
Well, let me pull it up real quick. So Jack, what do you know about the Eternals?
I'll be totally honest with you. I don't know anything about the Eternals. My Marvel was mostly Daredevil, X-Men, Punisher, Spider-Man. That's like what I mostly read, and some Cap, some Iron Man, and of course the Hulk. So I never really got into the cosmic stuff when I was a kid because I don't know. I just wasn't into the cosmic stuff. I was like, I have Star Trek for that. I want to see heroes in New York beating the crap out of criminals. So, you know.
Understood. Well, I have a pretty vast knowledge of it.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could talk in a moment.
Yeah, tell me about it because it's got Angelina Jolie. Oh, I love this song. We get copyright struck for this song. This song's like 60 years old.
It's beautiful, isn't it? We have watched, unguided. We have helped them progress and seen them accomplish wonders. Throughout the years, we have never interfered until now.
Yes! You know nothing, Jon Snow.
That's not Jon Snow. That's his brother.
No, both of them are in it.
Oh, really?
You just missed it?
Yeah.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome. So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's going to lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
You said goodbye.
Oh, yeah, that is him. Yeah, that is him. Jon Snow.
Tell me again who that's not.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Richard Madden. I was like,
Nah.
okay, so they got
No,
both
so-
in here.
So Kit Harington is playing someone that
Okay.
if I give it away, it would be a spoiler, but
Okay.
he's gonna have a big part. And he becomes his own little vigilante kind of person. So
okay.
if you don't know about the Eternals, I would suggest looking up a little bit about their backstory. I don't want to give too much of it away, but he goes by a couple different names, but I don't think we'll see him transition in this film.
Okay.
But it's something nighty, very nighty.
Okay.
So definitely get familiarized with that.
Ended when you said
See, now this looks different.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
That's
Listen,
good.
Listen, I thought that was 100% better than the
Oh yeah, the Shang-Chi
the
trailer.
Shang-Chi trailer because so and I like that they're not I like that they're not shying away from mentioning the Avengers because the Eternals, yes, they've been here for a long time
Yeah.
and they don't interfere, right?
Okay.
They've been here for a while. They know what's going on. And there's that like classic trope of like, well, if they saw the Battle of New York, why wouldn't they just step in?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what they do.
So
that's
they
not
are
what they do.
aliens. Are they aliens or are they
What do you mean?
like
they're-
they are aliens, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want, well, what do you classify? Yes, they're not from this world.
They're not from this world. Okay. So like it kind of got the ancient alien vibes with like that big triangle thing, you know.
Yeah.
Talking about stuff in the news actually, but like so they've been here, they helped us develop. That's actually kind of cool. Actually, I'm more interested to see that than I thought I would be. It kind of looks neat. And he got a great
So-
cast. And Angelina Jolie doesn't age.
She does not.
No.
All right. So, well, those first few years, you helped them with early cities and agriculture. So not entirely not interfere. You're right. Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Interfere. He said, Caden's on the other fence, though. He cannot wait to see the Eternals. And Carlos just doesn't know if he just doesn't feel it. Honestly, with the past two trailers that have come out, if you're gonna, if you're gonna base the future of Marvel off of Black Widow, the Eternals, and Shang-Chi, it's definitely not as gripping.
No,
right?
it's not. This was more interesting. And then I'm going to talk about this, especially tomorrow. Like that I think that Marvel needs to, we've talked about this, needs to kind of mix it up a little bit,
Agreed.
Don't just give us the same stuff. Like, oh, hero finds power, hero faces enemy, hero gets his ass kicked, hero comes back and wins. Like, come on, you gotta.
Yeah. But let me know what you guys, other than Carlos and Caden, what do you guys think of the Eternals trailer? Are you digging it? Are you liking the vibe? We know that Chloe Zhao, she directed it. The scenery of it's going to be pretty gorgeous.
The Nomad Land lady.
The Nomad Land.
Really?
Lady. Yeah, she's directing it. They said that when she pitched it, it was like nothing they've ever. Nothing they've ever done before. And I think that's what is attracting me to it is it's like nothing they've done before. So you're going to get that Guardians vibe where remember when Guardians happened, it was like nothing from the Marvel universe.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you could maybe say that Thor was kind of spacey, but not as
because
spacey.
they visited.
Yeah. But so this is going to be like nothing we've seen before in the Marvel world, which is what is intriguing me because it looks like, we're going to get that same old corp. I mean, we're getting it a little bit in this trailer, like with the who's gonna lead the Avengers, right? Oh, well, I could, we're gonna get that same corpy stuff, but I do think this film is gonna be a little bit more serious in tone, because we have the deviants and we have the creation of Thanos and
he's an Eternal, isn't he? Or
so
he's a descendant of one.
Yeah, so he's got. Well, again, so that kind of story is gonna spoil some of it. And I don't want to be the one to do that. But let's just say he has a gene that comes into conflict. And the way he is seen, the way his motivations are, they're not a fan of it. They're not a fan of Thanos' as viewpoints. And and you'd say, well, these look kind of human. Thanos does not look human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, but and hopefully we'll get that all explained.
Well, he's
but,
okay. Yeah, he's
so
kind of mixed, isn't he? From what I
he is a mix, and they consider that to be not great at all. So I'm really interested in this film, man. I really am.
Yeah, that looks really cool. And that song, someone mentioned that I was in Fallout 4. It's the end of the world, and I'm like, ooh, so like, does something apocalyptic happen where like the entire Earth is being threatened? Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder what is going to be the ultimate threat here.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a threat in this trailer, I don't think.
Yeah. And they're calling it a teaser, so
yeah, that was a pretty long teaser.
Yeah.
That was a pretty long teaser. So I wonder what is the ultimate bad, what's happening here, what's going to be the conflict in the Eternals? Is it going to be something that like I hope it's not the classic, we don't interfere, and then something happens and they're like posed with the question, should we interfere? And then they ultimately interfere. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where they're going with it, but I really hope not. I hope it's something different.
Yeah, because Prakash is saying, I wonder why they didn't interfere with the snap. And I'm like, yeah, like the threat's got to be worse than the snap then. 80% of humans.
80%, not just 50%.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are your first thoughts when this
for someone who doesn't know much about the Eternals, I like that this looked radically different. I like the choice of music. It didn't feel like a typical Marvel thing, and that's what I've been looking for. I'm like, give me something that doesn't feel like typical Phase 2, Phase 3 Marvel. Show me that you're willing to experiment. Change the game a little bit. You guys invented the game, now you gotta spice it up.
Yeah, agreed. What do you think? So Marvel has a tendency to stick to the same kind of formula, right? Yeah. And I am not sure that this movie works in your current formula. These characters, I should say, because these characters are a little bit more serious in tone. They are a little bit more not run of the mill. They're a very fun. They're fun to like read and they're fun to watch. They're fun in that sense of it, but they don't. That's the thing that's going to be hard to convey is their personalities. There's a lot of different personalities in one. So instead of having a solo movie for each of them and then grouping them all together eventually, it's it's a group right away. And that's, I think they did well with Guardians of the Galaxy, but not all the characters.
Or Justice League.
Like Groot, you don't need to do much development with.
Yeah.
He says, I am Groot. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So you don't need too much time with that character, but all of these characters are very intriguing and intricate. So I don't know.
I hope it's a long movie. I hope they decide to like push that 2.5 hour, limit. Just take it. If you're going to have a lot of characters, give the story a little bit of time to breathe. Don't worry about getting it under 2 hours and 12 minutes or whatever, get it out there. 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Carlos saying what could be bigger than Endgame. Well, they have to. That's the thing with Marvel. They have to go bigger. And I think this is my personal opinion. I think they're working towards Secret Wars, with the inclusion of the Skrulls.
Yeah.
And where's Nick Fury right now?
Yeah.
I feel like they're working towards Secret Wars, and that would be a payoff way bigger than Endgame, because Secret Wars. I mean, everyone in the Marvel universe is a part of Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So if they could make that work in film form, some ways. I know we're getting what the show on Disney Plus, Secret Invasion or something like that. Secret Invasion. I don't know how you do that show.
Would they stave off Secret Wars until they introduce the mutants? But I think maybe the mutants are pretty far off, so they might want to do Secret Wars before the mutants. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I think if I was gonna rate this trailer, I would rate it higher than Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But actually not as high as Black Widow. I think the Black Widow. Listen, unpopular opinion here. I think personally that the Black Widow is actually going to be a decent decent movie.
Oh yeah, it'll be decent. You know.
I think it's going to be better than most people expect. Why would Disney hold out on it for so
Yeah.
long if it wasn't decent, if it wasn't
Yeah.
good?
I think she has to come back.
No,
I
she's
think
not
she
going to
has
come
to.
back. They're going to
Like-
bring Yelena in as the new Black Widow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh, at least
she's
she's got a
also a
Russian
Black
accent,
Widow.
you know.
Yeah, so she's
Yeah.
going to come in as the new Black Widow is what I
Okay.
think. But some people argue that they've took too long with this movie. People's hype
Yeah.
has gone down for it because, listen, when did Black Widow pass away? Like what,
Yeah,
2
a couple
years now?
ago, yeah.
2
Yeah.
years now? Like
Yeah.
the want for that is now tanked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what their problem is. But I think that there's other stuff going on because why would they hold off on this for so long? They could have, if they could have put this on Disney Premiere,
Yeah.
they would have made a killing.
Yeah.
There's
I would have paid for it.
Like everyone would have paid for it.
Yeah.
They would have got $30 from each household,
Yeah.
right? Whatever it is, you could have bumped it to 40. People probably would have still paid.
Mhm.
Which is, I mean, dastardly. Like you should not do that
Yeah.
to anybody. But I mean, people would have paid, and I would have paid too. So
I think
it is-
they're like, this movie's probably going to make $1 billion. Can we make $1 billion through streaming? And that's what it is. You know, they're like, nah, probably not.
I agree with Carlos here. I wish I could have heard more about the Eternals, like tech and magic and
Well, it's a teaser
background.
just to get
But-
people like, what is this? Ooh,
When does
Game of
Eternals
Thrones.
come out?
That's a good question. You know, these drop dates are changing so much because so it's supposed to be November 5th. So this is kind of
November
crazy. This is
5th.
kind of during COVID that, you know, we're getting these trailers pretty quickly and then it's coming out really quickly. I mean, Marvel trailers could drop a long time, you know. So it's coming out November 5th as of right now.
Well,
They have to make a
when's
5th of
Black Widow?
November.
Next month?
Yeah.
Or July, right?
July. Yeah, remember the 5th of November. July 9th. Shang-Chi is September 3rd. So, like, we're getting a bunch of movies in quick succession, and the trailers are just now dropping.
Yeah. So, listen, to kind of like transition a little bit. I mean, we found out that the Titans season 3 is going to debut in August. It was rumored for mid-June.
Yeah.
Like June 15th ish.
Yeah.
I'm very upset that it's coming out in August, but because I was so dead set on it being next month. Did you watch Titans at all?
Yeah, I'm halfway through season 2, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it a lot.
Yeah, the finale for season 2 is pretty lackluster, not gonna lie to you. They make some questionable calls or questionable production things. But other than that, though, I love the show, and I'm excited because now they got that HBO budget.
Yeah.
But so brings like now to bring it full circle is: do you think that the future of superheroes and superhero superhero series is on streaming and not in the theaters? Because that could be really different. That could be really detrimental to.
I think it's entirely up to Marvel. Because if Marvel makes that, because right now, even before the pandemic, the only movies that were making big money were comic book movies, more specifically Marvel and Star Wars.
Right.
And if they decide, you know what, screw it, you know, we can make more money. If we have 80 million people paying $10 a month for Disney Plus or $6 to $10 a month, that's more revenue than a movie could make. And, you know, that's constant revenue. If they decide to do that, then theaters might go by the way of the dodo bird. However, Warner Brothers right now, it seems, might be trying to, you know, amend some of the relationships because big directors want to do big movies. You know, you might not get a movie like Tenet because it's not a guaranteed success. I mean, even though it's a Chris Nolan movie, I think it's up to Marvel. If Marvel decides to do that and they take their movies out of theaters, then, you know, are people going to go out and watch? Because right now it's like, okay, I pay, you know, a lot of money to go to the theaters, but now on top of that, I'm paying for Disney Plus, I'm paying for HBO Max, I'm paying for Hulu, I'm paying for Netflix. Like I'm already paying like cable bills, you know, monthly.
Yeah.
So
and I think what we need to do is we need to know, do you make more money by creating a streaming show for a superhero than you do putting it in theaters? I think the answer is no every time.
Yeah.
I think personally, and I would love to see, because here, if Hollywood gets addicted to this streaming stuff, right? They get addicted to that putting it there instead of in theaters. We're gonna have a serious problem down the road for theaters, especially.
We need culturally speaking, a Star Wars, and what I mean is like that movie that comes out and changes everything. Because I think the theaters need a renaissance. They need that one. I mean, it could have been Endgame, but then Endgame happened like what, a year before the pandemic. That was such a huge movie. That was proof that, hey, people will go see a movie that's not only 3 hours, but they'll see it in mass droves and they'll see it again and again and again.
How many times did you see Endgame in theaters?
Oh, believe it or not, I only saw it once.
Oh,
in theaters.
Three times.
I saw it once in theaters, just like I let it absorb. I was like, all right, let it absorb, you know.
Yeah. But seriously, I at the bottom of my heart think that we're going to be facing a very, very, very huge problem in the future.
It could be your boy James Cameron who saves it, because he's not going to put his crap on, like, you know,
streaming
Netflix.
Service. Yeah,
he's gonna be like, nope. You want to see, you know, the sequel to the biggest movie of all time? You have to go see it in the movie theaters.
I had this talk with Justice the other day. Do you think Avatar is the biggest movie of all time?
Well, I think it just beat Endgame, didn't it? Like they re-released it in China.
They're doing like a re-release battle. Basically, what's going to happen for the next 25 years is they're going to re-release these movies. Endgame, unless something else beats it out, which I don't see happening until Marvel's next culmination. But Avatar got re-released, and Endgame is probably going to go re-release again. And they're going to keep doing this to fight for that top spot for the rest of eternity. So the re-release, I can't get behind. I can't get behind. That should not count towards your overall box office for when the film hits theaters the first time. That should not count. It should, because with that mindset and that structure, okay, I'll just re-release my movie forever, and you know, it'll all add up, and will always be.
Here's what I think might happen. Movie theaters, okay, let's say Marvel and DC decide, okay, we're still going to keep doing theatrical. So we know the next few are going to be theatrical, but let's say 5 years from now, the big budget movies, the movies we know are going to make $800-900 million, $1 billion easy, are going to come out. And the movie theaters might do what they're kind of doing now. Let's take the classic movies that people haven't seen in theaters for years and do that. It'll become like the video store, like, oh, you know, I never saw Aliens on the big screen. And the local Regal or the local Showcase is showing Aliens.
And that's not
Let's go see that.
idea.
Let's see Empire Strikes Back. That came out before I was born. I never got to see that in theaters.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad. I'm just saying that shouldn't count towards your overall box office.
Yeah.
That should be a separate thing.
Yeah.
A re-release. There should be a re-release bracket. Like, okay, if you re-release your movie, then that does not contribute towards your box office. It contributes towards your re-release box office. They should be separated, because you shouldn't be able to. And like CAIDEN says, it's Disney versus Disney. Guess who ultimately wins? Disney. Disney has created this battle in your mind between Endgame and Avatar, but guess what? They don't care who wins, because they win at the end of the day. Every time. That's it.
You know, I've been to the theater a couple times now. I saw Spiral about 2 weeks ago, and I forgot, like, this is fun. This is fun.
Yeah. How'd you like Spiral?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I saw the ending coming about halfway through. I was with my date, and I'm like, I bet you this. I think I know the answer. She's like, what is it? I'm like, da 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 da. And then she's like, oh, good call. You called it. I'm like, yeah.
Dude, so Homeboy
I've seen him too many.
Homeboy smiles at something that he shouldn't have smiled at. I'll tell you after the show ends, because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But and that's when I said it to my date was my best friend.
Justice?
Justice is not my best friend.
Oh, okay.
No. But he likes to say that in his intros. Like, he that's what he calls me. I don't think we're
I picture
good
that
friends.
you guys have known each other since you were like 2 years old. Your parents used to bathe you in the sink together, you know. You guys have known each other all your life.
No. Justice is a very good friend, but this is one of my childhood friends.
Okay.
We saw it together, and I leaned over to him because him and I have this bad habit of talking through movies. If there's no one there, only if there's no one there, and there was nobody at Spiral for when we went. There was only 3 other people in the theater with us.
Yeah, same with me.
I leaned over to him, and I was like, he just smiled at that. I was like, that's him. It's him. It's him. And he was like, no way, dude. No way. There's no possible way it's him. And I was like,
it wasn't as clever as some of the other Saw movies. Like the other ones that came out, you'd be like, oh, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
But like now
The
audiences
traps
are
were
so
good.
trained. Yeah.
But they were all like fountain based. Like they all had like some like spigot in it, and I was just like, all right, whatever. You got a
The one
theme
thing I
going.
took away from it was Chris Rock is a pretty good dramatic actor. Because sometimes when I hear his voice,
You
I
didn't
think
think
of
that
his
he was
stand-up.
over the top? There were some scenes where he was trying way too hard to be
so?
serious.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Like when him and his partner go down to the scene for the first time, they're walking through the train station.
Yeah.
He's being way too over the top. He's talking about how if you choose this lifestyle, if you want to be a cop and your girl's going to cheat on you. And he's just like,
that's where he's kind of reminded me of his bits. Like if you ever watched Lethal Weapon 4, which is like one of his first movies, they would always have these bits where he kind of does like a comedy routine. He's like, man, my dad called Afghanistan. I had never been to, he does like the whole like bit. You're right. When he's talking about like his wife hooking up with the therapist. And I was like, okay, this sounds like Chris Rock decided to throw in like a comedic monologue because he's Chris Rock.
They announced the Saw 10. Yikes.
Yeah. Wait, so Jack, is it going to be a Saw movie or is it going to be like the Book of Jigsaw?
The Book of Saw, I believe.
Yeah.
If it was going to be anything, it's going to be from the Book of Saw again.
Yeah. Because I wasn't a big fan of the Jigsaw movie they did. So they ended Saw with Saw 3D, which was supposed to be the last one in that
final
story.
chapter is what we found out.
And then they did another one called Jigsaw, which did have John Kramer. And I saw the ending. I was like, oh, I know what they're going to do for the ending.
But wasn't Jigsaw a prequel, technically?
Yeah. So I was like, I bet you what we're seeing, because they're showing two sequences, right? And they showed Jigsaw, and I'm like, I bet you that's the past. Why? Because they did that trick in another movie where like what you saw wasn't happening at the same time. I'm like, oh, I bet you that's happening in the past. And
because they didn't come out and say that it was a prequel, but it ended up being a prequel of some sorts.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. But listen, I felt so bad. I felt so bad because I really wanted to get him on the show. The director of Spiral commented on my post about how I was like, I don't know if this is a good movie or a bad movie, if it's bad acting, it's good acting, or if this movie was just easily guessable. And he was like, well, is it one or the other? And then I was like, bro, come on the show. Like, I Saw 2 is still one of my favorite films in the Saw franchise.
Great. Yeah.
It's great. And he just never answered me, probably because I shit on his movie by accident. But I wasn't actually making fun of the movie. I was just like, well, it left me with a bunch of questions. And good questions. Like, I had a good time watching the movie.
Yeah.
It felt good being back in the theater.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's part of it. Like, I think for the last few years, we've been like sort of conditioned that I have to go to the movies and I have to have my mind blown. Sometimes you just go to the movies and just watch a movie and just have fun. And I had fun watching Spiral. Am I saying it was a great movie? No. Was it one of the better Saw movies? No. But like, it was just nice to be in the theater. You know, you got your popcorn, you got your thing, just sitting there and just watching the movie.
For sure. No, 100%. We're going to be right back. I just got to play the stupid ads. I don't know. Yeah. And then when we come back, I do want to talk to you a little bit about what's going to, we won't spoil it yet. Okay. But we got a couple fun topics left today. Yep. And then we'll run through some headlines and stuff like that. I'd love to get everyone's input. But while this is going on, let us know. Did you see Spiral? Do you think that the summer blockbuster? Did you see that joke that I did about Fast and the Furious? The blockbuster. No, I did not. Because Fast 9 released overseas.
He's a buster. Yeah.
Fast 9 released overseas, and it raced to 160 plus million box office opening. So I said, will the summer blockbuster bring people back to the theaters?
Buster.
Let that one sink in. That one sink in. We'll be right back. You know I love you. You know I love you. By the way. We are brought to you today by Bonk's Bar in Philadelphia. Bonk specializes in seafood and good times. If you're in the Philly area, make sure to stop by, and on Tuesdays, our resident producer Jack hosts trivia at the bar. Mention Pop Culture Corner to Jack and receive your first drink on the house. For more information about the menu or specials, visit the website for Bonks or their social media pages. All of the links are in the description below. This was an easy one, guys. Head out, support your local service industry. Go to Bonks, grab some seafood, some beer and wine, play some trivia, and have a good time. We are brought to you today by Smooth Mind Balls. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, are you sick of cutting yourself, nipping yourself with those old razors that you've used 412 different times? Well, Smooth My Balls has you covered. Your #1 source for male grooming products. Dedicated to providing you the very best trimmers with an emphasis on service, friendliness, and overall good experiences. Smooth My Balls has come a long way from its beginnings in England. When they first started out, their passion was for male grooming. That drove them to start their own business and to find the best products suitable for easy grooming. You will thank me later, your privates will thank me later, and your partner will thank me later, because you're gonna be smooth as an egg. Trust me. Use code POP at checkout for 15% off your entire order. Limit 1 order per household per day. Guys, girls, get on it. Shave up. Get it. All right. So yeah, shave your balls, man. Shave them.
Yep.
Shave them. Use code POP. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about Jiving with Jack, man.
Yeah, so
How's
Jiving with Jack,
everything been coming?
basically it's going to be exactly like TY's Corner, but the name is different.
That's it.
So we have a couple of, so yeah, it'll be actually to some degree, yeah, because remember we were saying like, okay, why are we still calling it TY's Corner? TY's Corner is still here. So we're going to be doing a little bit of opening skits, kind of recurring skits. We have a thing called the Jack Attack, which will be my hot take. Austin is doing something where he's going to do called Flossing with Austin. And the idea is he's going to talk to people who are in pop culture, but are doing things like outside of pop culture, like something positive.
Mhm.
And then I'm thinking of a segment we're going to be doing called This Week in History, Pop Culture History. So like this week, I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of things, but one of them was Owen Hart. Do you remember that wrestler who died?
Yeah, died, yeah.
Yeah. So, we would do these like little segments, and we'll still be talking about the news, the pop culture stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And then I also had this idea because like I've never seen any of our guests, but I kind of imagine what they look like, except for I think CAIDEN and that one Carlos. So I have this idea. I'll pick one person. This is who I picture, because Jack Pierre I think is in high school. But like every time I hear him, like I picture like a guy with like a beard, glasses, like drinks wine, kind of, stuff.
Hipster.
So yeah, I got hipster, I know that's not what he looks like, but I'm like, what does Adam Silvestri look like in my head? What is but they're not gonna be mean, like, you're fat and you're ugly. But I'd like to do that once an episode. So
Okay.
and just like if something happens, like a couple times news broke while we were doing the show, like Logan Paul or Jake Paul, grabbed what's his name's hat, Floyd Mayweather. We'll cover that too. And so it'll be like, it'll be like TY's Corner, but more me.
More Jack,
Yeah.
and
I
more
stole that
Jack.
from the Avengers, folks. Remember that first movie where he's like, it's like Christmas, but more me.
Yeah.
So.
All right, but that sounds really fun. I can't wait.
No Justice, I'm in.
What?
Someone,
Oh.
Billy wrote No Justice, I'm in.
No,
Billy was really mad at Justice about that shirt thing. He was like,
Well,
I think
dude,
it's unprofessional.
you know what?
Yeah.
Story for another day.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree. But yeah, so listen, some headlines of the day.
Yes.
Headlines of the day. So Phil Mickelson wins the PGA and becomes the oldest major champion of all time. How do you watch golf at all?
Not at all. In fact, I'll be honest with you, when I got into golf, not even to watch it, was Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I think that's really everybody.
Everybody, But I have been told that it's a game that once you start playing, you will fall in love with it, because I know everyone plays it.
Absolutely.
I've never played it. My dad played it a little bit, but that's pretty cool because everyone thinks it's a very it's an easy game to play. Age catches up with you, and for Phil Mickelson to do it at age 50, that's actually a big deal.
Yeah,
your age does catch up to you, just like any other sport. So,
well, the thing about golf is it's not fun to watch. 100%. It's not, unless you're a huge golf head, which I mean, like, there are like huge golf heads, like they love golf that much where they can sit and watch it. I am not one of those people, so I do not care about who win. Like which celebrity golfer is winning what championship or anything like that. However, I do like playing, and it's not an easy sport. It is not by any means easy to do. Driving, you need to be able to drive. You need to be able to putt. You need to and then you need to be able to be out on the green. It's not as easy as it seems. And you're in the hot sun. You're just baking and sitting there. And
I'll be honest. This might be a bad comparison. I kind of always associate it with Trump a little bit because I know he's got like golf courses all over the world.
Yeah, he also cheats at golf.
Oh,
like, he's a known cheater.
I'm the best golfer, better than Tiger Woods.
Yeah, except
you lotto guy.
Yeah, he's played against Tiger and he cheated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did like no, I don't know who won, but he like joked about it. He was like, "Yeah, he cheated, man. Like he hooked the ball into the woods and then they magically found it."
Yeah.
Like it's just
he loves the golf course, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, for anyone who does like golf, here you go. Phil Mickelson won the PGA, oldest champion,
cool.
Oldest major champion. Good for you, Phil. Love seeing older guys and
you won this
and older people be able to step in and still show that they're dominant in any sport. So some other stuff. Chase, but have you watched American Idol ever? I have not.
I swore this got canceled. And
I thought it got canceled too.
I remember they were doing the whole thing, the last season of American Idol. It's only produced 1 star.
Yeah, with
what was her name?
Kelly.
Kelly, yeah. It's only ever produced
Kelly
1 star.
Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson. And I remember there was that guy Ruben Stuttered. I like that guy.
The big
I like
guy.
Ruben. Yeah, Ruben Stuttered. He was a G. He was a G.
You know what it is? Ever since American Idol, you've had so many knockoff shows. You have like The Voice and all this other stuff. It kind of loses its,
The Voice took off though.
Yeah.
People love these shows. No doubt about it. They love them. So
when they got rid of that English guy, what's his name? Simon
Cowell.
Yeah, I think that kind of lost its edge because like Simon Cowell,
there was a part of that with the judges where some of the best parts, like people watched because Simon was so rude.
Yeah.
And people watched because what was his name? That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
I forgot his name.
Jesus.
There's Paula Abdul.
There's Paula Abdul. There was Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
And then there was
Actually, hold on 1 second. Let me use the old form of Google. Hey, Kathleen, what was the name of the black guy on American Idol? She's not listening to me. Wow. Because I know she watches that. The Randy Jackson. Randy
Jackson. Yes. She said
You know how I remembered that? No. You know how I remembered that? That's the name of the guy who does the scream voice. Hello, Sydney. What's your name? His name is Roger Jackson. But whatever. Randy Jackson. Yeah.
And then, as you all know, I'm a big cryptocurrency person.
Mm-hmm.
I've been involved with it. I have a real tie to it. And it has lost me a lot of money in recent weeks because Beijing has cracked down on the mining. They've cracked down on the mining of crypto, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin has dropped significantly in its price, which resulted in a lot of other cryptos tanking, and it's been really hurting people's pockets. But here's the thing. Don't invest all your money into crypto. It's volatile. It's not sustainable. It never was going to be sustainable. I got out probably a week and a half ago, and I'm very glad I got out because I was still
anytime you have any kind of new market like crypto, and even though crypto is not new, there's always going to be fluctuations before it stabilizes,
Yeah. Apple didn't just start off at where it is. Tesla didn't just start off where it is.
Yep.
And
he kind of played a role, didn't he? When he was on SNL and he made a joke and like the stock.
He's the one who tanked it. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a huge Elon Musk fan, but after he did that, I had less respect for him because it was almost like he told his friends, like, "All right, pull your Dogecoin now.
Yeah,
I'm about to go tank this on SNL." It was like he wanted the power of being able to change the stock market.
Yeah,
and I have less respect for him today than I did.
Yeah,
So Elon, if you're listening, which you're not, I very, very disappointed in you as a human being. But guess what? Tesla also got hurt by it. So fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Also, you're welcome to come on the show too.
You are welcome. I would love to.
Can you imagine if we got him?
Right. The Billboard Music Awards. Did you watch it? So we've been talking about this for a while now. Awards shows are on the decline.
Yeah.
And it is no surprise that in a pandemic, right? In a pandemic, that we're not getting excited about stupid award shows.
No.
Because we, as human beings, don't want to watch the already rich and famous get trophies.
And give speeches. Like, give speeches about
give,
what we're wrong, you
give
know.
Black Lives Matter speeches.
Yes,
I don't want to hear
Thank you
it.
for saying it. I am so scared about that issue, but yeah. Yeah, but like it used to be, I was doing Quizzo the other day, and we were doing like a 90s theme night. And I was like, do you guys remember like when I was like, even the freaking Teen Choice Awards used to be fun?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God, there's Jay-Z, you know, and they're singing the song on the radio. You're like, now it's just like, whatever. Now it's like, you know, you're a bad person because, you know, you don't follow things I say. Like, that's, I don't watch them.
That's
it used to be fun to watch the performances. Like, oh my God, you know, Kanye or someone's going to be on. They're going to sing that song. I hope they sing that song, and they sing that song, and you jump up. You're like, yay!
Yeah.
You know, this
is the problem with the current state of the world, and this is going to circle back to my alien thing.
Yeah.
Is we are far too invested in the lives of these actors, actresses, and musicians. We are far like people would rather talk about the Friends reunion. I'm not being like coy.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited, but
I'm excited for the Friends reunion. I think we're all excited for the Friends reunion. However, I'm not as big of a fan of it because it's not scripted. It's not an actual show. It's just them getting together and sticking fingers up each other's asses.
Yeah, it's
like,
essentially, yeah. A lot of people until the trailer, a lot of people thought like, oh, this is gonna be an episode, and like, no.
Yeah, like
them,
you
know.
I forget who I was talking about.
Justin Bieber's gonna be on there. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, great! I can't wait for Mindy Kaling on Friends because she was on the show back then. No, she was not. I don't care. Give me Richard. Give me more Richard.
I think he will be.
He will be there, and that's the only guy that I'm excited to see. And then someone was telling me, "Oh, they all aged so well." No, they look like shit.
No, they look awful.
Courtney Cox looks inhuman.
Yeah,
inhuman.
Matthew Perry, ironically, is the youngest out of the bunch, but he looks the worst because all that drug abuse kind of caught up with him, unfortunately. If you ever watched his show, he was skinny, he was fat, he was skinny, he was fat. And I'm not making fun of him for that, but like it caught up because he is the youngest, but he looks way older. David Schwimmer kind of looks almost the same.
Yeah, oh my God, someone replaced him with Jeffrey Epstein. The uncanny resemblance is there. Oh my God.
And then Joey just gained weight. Like in that trailer, he looks like Joey was supposed to look like, given how much food Joey's supposed to eat.
Yeah, he looks good though for being older. Yeah, honestly, the only one that, of course, there we go. And actually, Phoebe looks great.
Yeah,
Phoebe,
she looks great too. Yeah.
I don't know what her actual name is. She's
Lisa
like the
Kudrow.
only one. Yeah, she's like the only one that people don't know exactly.
And
who
she's
she
the
is.
oldest one. Like she was like 33 when the first season hit. Like she was kind of like not that 33 is old, but like they were supposed to be like all 25. You know.
Yeah. I mean, but people would rather talk about the Friends reunion than the government. Basically, like, listen. I don't know if anyone actually realizes what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But next month, as if Sir Nerdalog just brought it up, the one thing that I think everyone can be happy about that Trump did in office is he pretty much normalized like I call them the 3-letter agencies, right? FBI, CIA, all of those. DOJ, everyone has to go to Congress next month and basically say, this is what we know, right? This is the information that we have so that everyone can get on the same page about where UFOs, what is it, yada, 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 all that stuff. And now they're basically coming out and saying, all right, so, there are these crafts that we cannot identify. And yes, that craft, the leaked footage of that craft that flies into the water and never comes out.
Yeah.
Yes, it can fly underwater just as well as it can in the air and in presumably space.
Yeah.
Right. And then a Pentagon official came out and said, yes, the United States has exotic material that they've recovered from a crash.
Because that's what all these guys are like. You know what?
Why has Bob Lazar not been, hey, Bob, here's your life back?
Yeah.
Why is this not a thing? Why are we not mentioning how Bob Lazar basically had his life taken away from him? because of all this. And now they're coming out and confirming everything that he's always said. The guy is the only person who stuck to his guns and basically would not conform to save his life.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need-
I mean,
This guy needs his
the
life
thing
back.
with the news. Here's the thing with the news. Now news is all about activism, the new social thing. And look, I'm not saying like that's not a good thing, but that's all it is 24 hours a day. The award show, the music industry, TV shows, Marvel, Disney, DC. It's all about let's get political. Like they just realize that, hey, this is hot right now. And we can get ourselves trending on social media if we make a political point in a film. I'm like, oh, okay. And but now it's gotten to the point where it's so boring, like all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's all politics, racial politics, gender politics, And again, I'm not saying these are issues we shouldn't talk about, but we're not really talking about them. We're just like, showing like how woke we are or how not woke we are,
Yeah. And
that's all it is. And so when something important does kind of happen, it just doesn't click or register,
Dude, I'm like, I literally can't even wrap my head around it on why this isn't on every news outlet there is all day, every day.
Yeah.
Because this is the dude. I'm pretty sure they're getting us ready for First Contact. Why else would they be?
The one thing that's been going through my mind is you'd always hear these stories. There were two types of people like, yeah, I was taken up by the aliens and they had an intergalactic meeting out. Then there's the other person who's like crying and like in tears, like, dude, something happened to me.
Yeah.
And like I had a normal job, had a good job, family, blah, blah, blah. I'm not making this up to make money. Something happened to me. I'm like, crap, are those stories true then?
And
some of those abduction stories. Not all of them, but maybe some of them are.
And
that's worrying.
What did he say? Okay. If that Bob Lazar story is real, okay. The fact that I'm not like yelling at you in particular. Mm-hmm. There is no way that what Bob Lazar has said is not true to some degree.
Yeah, to some degree.
Either he really does believe it and it never happened and he's crazy, or we need to take what he says seriously because the guy has been saying it for 40 years now. He's never changed his story. Mm-hmm. He never, when given the he's never made a single dollar.
Yeah.
For telling his story. He only told his story to make sure that he wasn't killed by the government in a way to shut him up or get rid of the story, right?
Yeah. Not only that, this dude could make money by going to every UFO convention. He could make a ton of money just by
he
going.
Could smash the
he's like, I'm not into that. I'm not into UFOs. He just says it. I'm not.
He barely, like, they had to fight tooth and nail to get him on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
After the documentary, for anyone who hasn't watched it or asking who is Bob Lazar, go to Netflix. Was it on Netflix?
Yeah, it was on Netflix. Yeah.
It's
called Bob Lazar and UFOs or something like that.
Yeah, it's Bob Lazar and Area 51, something like that. I've actually talked to Jeremy Corbell, who made the documentary. I tried to get him on the show. Something was going on where he can't come out. Alien stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're always like that.
To answer Caiden's story real quick, like what is the Bob Lazar story? He was technically in the 90s debunked because they said we have proof he never went to this school. He never lived in the area. He's making all this stuff up. And then later it came out that they just deleted him because then they found his address in like an old phone book.
And there are people,
there
are people who have dropped him off at Caltech.
Yeah.
He knew about S4 when S4 wasn't even, no one knew about S4 until years later. They came out and said, okay, Area 51 is S3 and where Bob worked was S4.
Yeah.
And it's a different.
He's one of the reasons we know about Area 51 and all 100%. That stuff. Yeah.
They're saying he talked about an element 115, this unknown element, which years later
in the 80s
became an actual element. Mm-hmm. What else? Shit.
He was talking about anti-grav technology, which is what we're seeing with the movement. Like we can't do that according to laws of physics. Move around. Anti-gravity is like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Move like that.
It's not a reactionary thing. It's a like instead of a combustion, right? Like combustion and it pushes you. It's basically pulling you and warping gravity and moving forward. I think he explains it because we watched it last night a little bit. And like he explains it's like if you take a bowling ball and put it on a bed and put your hand and foot in front of it and push down on the bed, the bowling ball will roll and it will follow the path that you made for it. That's basically what these ships do, is they warp gravity around them and then they fall and through the warped passage.
To connect to that, a lot of skeptics are like, well, why is it always in black and white? I'm like, well, here's why. Because in black and white, you can see the heat signature of the thrust. It's better than just taking a camera. If you put a camera out in the sky, you can't really see anything, but we have a heat signature. You can see the thrust of a jet or something. These things have no forms of thrust. No heat signature is showing this thing being, we use, thrust to move forward. We go to space using thrust. So how are these things moving without a heat signature? And that's why these videos are in black and white, because that's what they're looking for. They're scanning for Russians or Chinese, and all of a sudden, here's the thing. Yeah. No visible means of thrust, no heat signature. It's like, okay, well, how's this thing moving? That's why it's in black and white. They're not going out there with like 4K cameras and like, you use thermal imaging or heat imaging to detect UFOs or UAPs or whatever you want to call them.
Right. And I just think I think we need to talk about it more. I think what we really need to do is normalize talking about this stuff, because I firmly believe this. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
In our lifetime, we are going to see first contact. And, I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be a tinfoil talk guy. Yeah. I'm not trying to be, anything weird, but I do think that it's going to happen. And to think that there's nothing else in the universe is naive. Mm-hmm. It's very naive. There are people that think that this earth was created 1,000 years ago. That's naive.
Yeah.
I think we're going to find, hopefully, what is going on. We're not the only ones. We need to know that, because we need to know how small we are. You know why? You know why in the news that they're able to perpetuate these race stories? Do you know why in the news they can sell you chaos? Because we don't know how minuscule we are in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I forget what's his name. The Neil deGrasse Tyson, before Neil deGrasse Tyson was, I forget his name. He was like the guy that started it all.
You're not talking about Bill Nye, are you?
No, Bill. No. He was the philosopher and scientist before Neil deGrasse Tyson was ever a thing. He's the reason we know. So basically, what he did was on one of the first trips out into space, he really campaigned to have them turn around and take a picture of the Earth.
Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan, yes.
Yeah.
So he had them turn around, take a picture of Earth, and it was this big.
Yeah.
Right? And basically what he's saying is, I don't think people realize that every single part of your life, every emotion that you felt, everything that you've experienced, every moment in your life and everyone else's life takes place on that little blue speck.
Yep.
We are very, very, very small in the grand scheme of things. And I think once we know that, it changes your outlook, right?
Yeah.
Make the most of every moment. Stop with the chaos. Stop with the fear mongering. Stop with all the looking at someone like they're different. We need to come together as one species, or like I said, we're gonna get Independence Day.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna look at us and be like, these dogs are crazy.
Yeah.
We just need to get rid of them before they wipe us all out with their stupidity.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the ones like me that will get spared.
Yeah, I know.
Taken
Right?
away.
We'll be like that show Colony or whatever. Like we'll be the good ones.
Colony's dope, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed that show got canceled, and it canceled on a cliffhanger. So aggravating. And I actually like that show, and my girl Kim Rhodes is in it. And me and Kim talked about it on the show. It was like, dude, I can't believe that show got canceled, man. That was a good show.
Everyone forgot, like the chief minister of defense, former chief minister of defense of Israel, said all this stuff. He was like, yeah, they have like because this is not some like low level guy. This is like,
let's talk about that.
He's like to give you an example. He was like
Israeli space chief.
Yeah,
he's decorated, highly decorated military man who's 82, has nothing to lose, but people will try to use that against it and say, well, he's 82. No, the guys, think about if General what's his name? General Mathis came out.
General Mathis,
and said, hey, listen, we have a bunch of alien stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have a base on Mars where we're in it's an underground base in Mars where we work alongside this alien race who is part of a galactic federation. And tell me that doesn't excite you. Like we're in some sort
that
of
sounds
Star
great.
Trek.
Yeah. Not only that, if you guys ever get a chance, look up Edgar Mitchell. He's one of the first men on the moon. He said, I saw stuff on the moon. And NASA was like, oh, we respect Edgar, but we don't agree with his whatever. And
we love him but we don't like him anymore because he basically came out and told our secrets.
He's like, we saw stuff on the moon. I'm like, okay, this dude went to space.
Right. And by the way, let's not take away that in order to get approved to even be in the vicinity of NASA, you need to pass a rigorous series of tests, whether it be mental, physical, anything. You cannot just apply and get hired to work at NASA. It's not how it
you're
works.
Going to Walmart.
That's not how it works. So this dude needed to be the top of the top to get on that spacecraft. And then he comes back and says, we saw some things. And maybe it is because he just he knows that he's been to space. And if he said something, everyone would know. Maybe, yes. But what are the actual chances of that? Maybe 50-50, actually. I don't know. But
I mean, it's still pretty interesting. I think it is.
I'm super into this, man.
People have asked, why haven't we been back to the moon since the early 70s? And the official answer is, well, the space race is over. We beat the Russians. End of story. That's all it was. And I'm like, I don't know. There
are people that think we haven't been to space.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan used to be one of them.
Yeah. Until he met Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like, no, we've been to space.
Yeah. But Neil kind of works against us on this as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not on the being, not on the thing like, have we been to space? But his answers for like aliens and stuff. Whoa, I haven't seen one. So they
very
can't
very ostentatious, very, very pretentious. Like, well, show me an alien next time you're being probed. He does this bit. He says, like, next time you're being probed, just grab an ashtray. I'm like, well, the government says they have exotic materials, so what's next?
What do you mean ashtray? I don't get that.
He does this bit like, well, next time the aliens get you, when they're doing their sex experiments on you, just say, hey, aliens, look over there, and then grab like an ashtray or something from like the table over there and just bring it with you. And like, it's like so like douchey the way he does it.
Oh, okay.
Like grab something from the ship and bring it with you. I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you have a story, don't you?
What?
I know you've told it before. You said you saw one or saw something.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was, and again, I use the Bob tactic on this one because I cannot prove it. I cannot. I can't confirm. I can't 100% say with certainty. However, when you hear Bob's story and when you hear other people's story that line up with the one that you have, it's very eerie. Because what I saw, I was in my mother's house, and I was sitting on the front because I used to play this game with a tennis ball. My roof was very slanted, and the gutter, when you threw the tennis ball on the roof, the gutter would pop the ball, right? Sometimes it would get stuck, but then you just go up and get a new one. But it would pop the ball, and then you could catch it. And like you could just play for hours upon hours. We called it off the wall. And I was sitting there, and I was playing. So I'm looking up, right? I'm looking up into the sky, basically, because the roof. I'm looking up at the roof.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, man, this is what I saw. Or I swear to whatever is out there. 3 lights equidistant to each other, and then a sphere whip over the house. Whip. Like just like that. And then I ran around it was kind of weird because like I remember it like it was yesterday. I ran around the house. And the house is pretty big, so I ran around the house. By the time I got there, it had been gone. Yeah. But literally, all I remember seeing is 3 equidistant lights, a sphere, and then by the time I could recognize anything, it was gone. And then you hear Bob talk about equidistant lights and spherical shapes. And I was maybe 9-10 years old. I had no idea what like. I wasn't as into it as I am now, but that's what sparked my interest. And then I started hearing people, no matter what spacecraft they see, they always talk about 3 equidistant lights.
Yeah. So kind of like a triangle, like that one UFO video that they released that looks like a pyramid. I said pyramid. I'm like,
and it's now that you hear that the government is basically saying Like, yeah, we don't know what that is. Just as in the dark as you, which I don't believe, because if they have the exotic materials, then they know something's out there, or they know. I'm wondering, have they ever talked or communicated with a species? And if the Israeli space chief is right, then yes,
we have been talking to him.
And
I think they have.
Why is that not bigger news? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. Why isn't this bigger?
Yeah. I think people are just stupid, or they're just there are many times I'll talk to people and they have no idea what's going on in the news. Like they'll be like, "Oh, is that what happened today?" I'm like, "Yeah."
You know? Whenever I used to, like, we were all in high school at one time. Whenever I used to smoke, right? I'd smoke a joint with my friends. We would always talk about this stuff. And I don't want to hear, dude, it's one of the most talked about things. Are we alone in the universe?
Yeah.
Yet when they finally tell us, no, you're not alone.
Yeah.
It just gets wiped under the table, and we're like, okay, let's pull up the Friends reunion.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? What is going on? Where are our priorities?
Someone tweeted something 10 years ago. Let's make an issue out of that.
Cancel Gina Carano.
Yeah. Kevin Hart can't host the Oscars.
It baffles me, man. It really does. It baffles me.
It's a shame that in the age of technology, like when you can look up anything on your phone, I think we become stupid, more stupid. Like we become less informed. Like if anything,
can you tell me what
smarter.
your best friend's phone number is?
No. Yeah, you're right.
Point proven. I can. 978-549-2618.
Yep, there you go.
Everyone
write that down.
I didn't even realize what I just did.
Yeah.
But
good thing this is not recorded. So
yeah. But yeah. So I don't know. Have you seen Army of the Dead yet?
Oh yeah. I liked it.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I was surprised by the reviews. I mean, it's got a 70%, but then I saw these user reviews like the movie sucked. It wasn't that good, and I was like, well, I don't know what you guys saw. I really enjoyed it. I actually liked it a lot. Dave Bautista keeps proving that he's such a good actor.
So good. So good.
I liked it. Every character in that was like, what I liked about it, they established it pretty good. They don't really go into Vegas for like about 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And I like that they established each character, their quirks and everything, so that once they're in Vegas, you're like, okay, I know who everyone is. And a lot of times in ensemble movies, I'm like, wait, which one is that guy again? Who's she supposed to be again? You're like, nope, I got it.
Right.
The opening credits were great. I loved it. I love that they were like 5 minutes long. Zach's like, I'm just gonna make a 5-minute opening credits scene. That was great.
You like but okay, so I think this is the question we were all asking ourselves.
Yeah.
Did you think it compared to Watchmen's opening scene? Some people said it was better. Some people said it was better. Like, I remember
there was an emotionality to it. Like, remember there's the thing where you see the woman and she finds her daughter, saves her daughter, and then the mom gets captured and the daughter ran to her and they hold each other. I literally went like, oh no, they dropped that thing. Yeah. And it actually kind of made me sad. I'm like, oh, she fought so hard to save her daughter. And then, but this is just the opening, sorry. But like, I was like, God, that's a really intense, and there's a lot of,
it's okay.
Like we talk about people getting offended. I love that they're like, we're going to drop a nuke, and activists are very upset. Humanitarians are saying it's wrong to drop a nuke. I'm like, of course they would be. Like, that's something that could actually happen. Like, zombies are like taking over a city, and people are like, you know what? They're people.
We can't.
Too.
They have feelings too. Yeah. Shut the up.
Yeah, exactly. I could imagine that happening. Like, they just need some love.
Yeah. No. Okay. Go ahead. Trying to love them.
Yeah.
You know what I really liked about Army of the Dead is that they were not your typical run-of-the-mill zombies. They showed emotion. They loved each other.
Yeah.
Right. The alpha shamblers did.
Yeah.
So let's when I say these things, I'm talking about the alpha shamblers, not just the minions. Right. They had logic to what they did. They could show remorse. They had these emotions. There's that little twist that comes in the form of the Queen Zombie, which I am still waiting for a payoff. I hope we get one day. These weren't just regular zombies. Like what Coyote says is so true. These are not what you think they are.
Yeah.
By the way, that scene when she sacrifices the guy,
Yeah.
Woo! Was out of my chair for that one. I was like,
It
yes!
also gave me vibes of The Last of Us. Like, remember that part where they're inside and they're hibernating?
I don't
they
play
got
video games. No, I don't know what you're
So
talking about.
basically, you can kind of move around them as long as you don't make any noise, that type of thing. Because in Last of Us, they're not technically zombies; they're creatures that they're like zombies, but they're not dead. But like that scene where they're like, okay, we gotta navigate through here, don't make any noise. I was like, oh, that's so cool, you know. And the German guy stole the show when he started. Every time he screamed, like,
yeah, he was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a couple things. We don't die. Zack made a point to show us people dying, our main characters dying. Who are the two that we did not see die directly? Coyote and the Safecracker. We don't see either of them die directly. We see everyone else
Coyote.
die.
She's the one who gets impaled, right?
She gets impaled, but we don't see her die.
Like,
we don't see her die. And we don't see the Safecracker die because he pushes Homeboy into the safe and closes it on him. But I think if we know Zack Snyder, we know that everything is for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that Dieter, I think it was his name. Dieter and Coyote, I think we were not meant to see them die because I think they're going to be back in some form or fashion. I know that Dieter is going to have a show about or a prequel or something.
Okay. He was great.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong about that, by the way, because I assume I could have sworn it was going to be about him, sort of. It was like a backstory on the Safecracker. But the fact that he doesn't know too much about how to do the zombie killing and kind of makes me wonder, like, what is the prequel going to be? Just that is set in normal time, like no zombies. So I don't know.
Or maybe the story's happening like in the one that's happening in the credits is happening in the background, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been a while. Because I think Dave Bautista says, like, you haven't talked to me for the last couple of years. So, like, enough time has passed since, like, the initial outbreak, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and they used Richard Cheese with Alison Crow. So, Richard Cheese, he did the Down with the Sickness song from...
did you not know that was happening?
So, I knew Alison Crow was singing it. I didn't know it was going to be Richard Cheese also.
So you didn't watch my interview with Allison and Ray Porter then?
No, I didn't. Well, I saw the Ray Porter part.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, because you would have known that had you watched it or been there. Did you?
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no. So they had told us that. That Richard did it, and he did the Down with the Sickness thing. And
wow.
I think that was wild when it was in that. That was pretty cool.
That was a really cool sequence.
What did you? I mean, did you see what I rated Army of the Dead?
Yeah, I saw it like out of 35, right?
Yeah, so my classic 7 category thing is so I always have 7 categories. So it's always 35. And Army of the Dead got a 24, which breaks down to 4 out of 5. I thought it was going to rank lower. I almost gave the score a 2 because the score didn't rope me like I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Some parts the score is non-existent.
Yeah.
So
I don't even remember the score. I was thinking I remember the actual songs they used, which is always good. Zack always does that well, but I don't even remember a score.
Wait. So okay. So
are you talking about a musical score or are you talking about the total score?
Yeah, musical score.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of there was a part of the music. Yeah.
CAIDEN is saying that the Army of the Dead prequel with Dieter, which is the Safecracker, is going to be a no zombie film.
Okay.
What? Why? See, I actually don't. I am not on board with that because I think
is it a film or is it like an anime or something?
Well, there's the anime, yes.
Okay, so this is gonna be different.
But then there's a prequel movie as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure, but
Are they
that's
gonna call it Army of the Dead?
That's so weird. Well, there's Lost Vegas, which is, and Army of the Thieves, which is I think that's what this one's gonna be.
Okay, Army of the Thieves. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I'm not like 100% on board with that, but I bet it'll be good because it has him in it. I just don't know if the appeal's gonna be there because the unless it ends with the outbreak.
Yeah.
Maybe then you could get away with it.
Like make a movie out of those first 5 minutes, like show another group of survivors trying to get out of there.
Yeah. See, the problem I have with this, the way that the zombies came, is that it's only Las Vegas. So how are you going to explain that prequel movie that the anything else, anything. So if you say you wanted to do another movie set in a different place, well, you can't. It has to be Las Vegas. That's
Well,
the
here's
only
the thing.
place.
In the beginning, we know that they have zombies in that container. What if it was an experimentation at, let's say, Area 51 or something like that?
And at the end of Army of the Dead, Homeboy goes to Mexico.
Yeah.
And he's clearly about to go.
Yeah.
You know, so because that's like the first thought I had when he came out of that hole in the ground. I'm like,
Vanderhole or something?
yeah. The minute he came out of the hole in the ground, I'm like,
Yeah.
radiation poisoning.
Yeah, I know, right?
How
like,
is this not a thing right now?
Yeah.
And,
I think maybe they were kind of counting on you not knowing what radiation poisoning is. Because
yeah.
if you're that close to the bomb, like the second you come out with like minutes, it's probably going to kill you. If you're that close, like people get radiation poisoning, that can happen to you like hundreds of miles away. But if you're in, you know, remember Chernobyl when they showed the people who were near the explosion, they looked like irradiated, their skin was melting off. Like,
and that's like the closest thing to reality. That's like how it happened.
Yeah.
So there's no way that he comes out of that hole and just like walks away. There's no way. Your body would crumble within seconds.
Yeah.
Because you would be so. But then again, is he a human at this point?
Yeah. So maybe the zombification process saved him.
Yeah. But yeah. So. 4 out of 5. I thought it was a good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Was it as good as like Zack Snyder's Justice League? I'm like apples and oranges, different movies.
Yeah,
that one had a different writer. Different writer for that one. Yeah. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was emotional. I did kind of see the ending coming as soon as him and his daughter started making up. I'm like, okay, one of them's gonna die. You know, because that's kind of like you know it's gonna happen. She
pissed me off so much. Yeah. She's always gonna be one in a movie like that where you know why the reason that they didn't pull off the score was because of her, because she had to go running off to find some lady that didn't matter.
Did she die? Did Gita die? She wasn't on the helicopter, the one she goes to save.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember because she's not on the helicopter at the end.
Wait.
So there's 3 people she tries to save. One got killed by the alpha zombie.
I know. But
and then one gets bitten.
Go?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Because I thought maybe she had made it to the helicopter. Maybe I was wrong. But
she definitely made it to the helicopter. What the?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I was
you just blew my mind.
Yeah, then my friend was like, "I think she died in the Olympic or whatever, Olympus," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't remember that."
So that it was all for no reason.
All for no reason. Yep.
Well, she clearly doesn't make it out of the end of the movie. So regardless, it's all for no reason.
And the pilot's dead too. So
Tig, I thought Tig did wonderful, but
she was great. The other thing was there were some parallels between this and Dawn of the Dead. There's a scene where they go into like they're running, they go into an elevator, and they hear music. There's a scene like that in the original Dawn of the Dead. Guy's like, I like this song. Yeah. And then the guy from Sons of Anarchy, he's like the security guard who goes with them that they sacrifice.
Okay.
He reminded me a lot of the Phil. Do you remember the dad from Modern Family? Yeah. He's sort of the douchebag in the original Dawn of the Dead. He always wears like a suit and tie or something like that. You know, it's kind of I saw some parallels between those guys, like kind of like misogynistic pricks, you know.
Right.
You know, that's the guy whose boat they steal at the end, and he does the thing where he's not going to help you, and you know.
Yeah.
Small parallels.
Definitely
even though they're not connected.
Definitely some small issues with the movie. But very minuscule. Because like now that you said that, now that's gonna piss me off that I don't remember, because basically after the helicopter crashes, we don't know anything about the people inside except, well, we know half of what happens.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Dave and the daughter have that moment and whatever, yada, yada. But we don't see, like, did Tig's character die? Did Guta or whatever the goddamn name is?
Gita.
Yeah. Did she die?
I remember that because that was the name of Dupinder's girlfriend in Deadpool's like, I wanted to marry my friend Gita, but then my cousin Dupinder. This is like my cousin, he kills his cousin.
Yeah. Dupinder's a psychotic man, by the way. If anyone,
it turns out he did kill his cousin.
Yeah.
In that car accident.
I hope they bring him back for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so scared about Deadpool 3 and what Disney's going to do with it. They might just do like a soft reboot and get rid of all. Apparently Marina Bakarin's not going to be back. I'm like, really? Like the girl who plays his wife or whatever, his girlfriend or whatever.
Well, she's dead.
Well, no, he brought her back. Remember, at the end, like they don't show up, but like he has like the time travel thing, you know.
He did bring her back.
Yeah.
Oh, She was in Gotham too.
Yeah, she was great in
Great in
Gotham.
Gotham. Yeah,
She's also in Homeland. She's Brazilian, I think. Very gorgeous.
very pretty woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So that's all the time we have for today.
Yeah.
We're about there. We're about there. Jack, thanks for filling in, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
of
for
course,
filling
of
in.
course.
So guys, make sure you show up tomorrow night. Well, Jack, it's your show. Go ahead. I'm just producing it. So
yeah, he'll be producing it, guys. Tomorrow at 4:30, Jiving with Jack starts tomorrow. It'll be very exciting. We have a few small.
You're gonna need a couple of these.
Yeah, we're gonna need a couple. We'll be cursing. We're using words like damn and hell.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's gonna be fun, you know.
All
and
right.
yeah, of course, we'll be covering pop culture. That's what we do.
Yep. All right. You want to take us out?
Yes. Remember,
Like,
we do
subscribe. Nope.
Oh yeah, like, subscribe, and share, and
Yeah.
become patrons. This stuff
Yeah.
isn't free, so please help us. Only $5 a month, and get a Jiving with Jack T-shirt or a Pop Culture Corner mask. If you haven't been vaccinated, you still need to wear your mask. So get one of those TY Corner masks.
Hey, listen, I have one just for fun.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like to wear it just because
You
I
still
like.
have to wear your mask a lot of places. So like now they're saying if you're vaccinated, you don't have to. But
Yeah.
you go into a store, it says mask.
They can do their own rules.
Yeah, so they're gonna like, hey, you still have to wear your mask when you come into our convenience store. So you still need masks. So go get your TY's Corner or Pop Culture Corner mask.
Yeah,
You know,
hell yeah,
tell
man.
people like, what is that?
Yep.
Explain to them.
But yeah, so Jiving with Jack tomorrow, 4:30.
4:30.
Be there or be square.
Yep.